Live from Radio Lebanon 96.2 FM, this is Script to Screen with host Alan Mehanna.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Script to Screen here on Radio Lebanon 96.2 FM. This is the fourth episode of Script to Screen Season 2, and what a wondrous episode it is. What a celebratory episode it is. We are on the aftermath of a huge, fantastic Lebanese heyday, I don't know what to call it, celebration, a national celebration, a national, party, because the film by Ziad Doueire, The Insult, has been nominated for a Best Foreign Film Oscar, the first Lebanese film to garner this great honor, to garner this fantastic opportunity. This isn't just an Oscar nomination for us. This is the opening of so many doors and the spreading of hope for Lebanese filmmakers of all ages to believe in our industry once more, to believe that anyone can truly make it in this industry, even if we come from a tiny country like our own, a tiny chaotic country like our own. As small as we are as a country, we sure do make noise, as we also found out over the past couple of weeks. We've made a lot of noise. But let's not dwell upon this right now, because my first returning guest, Script to Screen returning guest, is joining us in the studio. My good friend, and excuse me, that's never happened on air before. My good friend, and soon to be your good friend, the cinematic Elias Doummar. Welcome again to Script to Screen, my friend.
Hello, Mr. Alan Wren.
For all you listeners out there, it's because Mr. Doummar knows how much I love Kylo Ren. He's added the Ren to my name. How are you on this very cinematic yet rainy day?
Wow. Actually, as you've already said, it was like a heyday. It was a superb national history. All of a sudden, we were like somehow anticipating, but still we didn't like really acknowledge that we might be, nominated. And the very first moment we heard this, we just entered like the cinematic history. So, with all respect to all the international achievements done by Lebanese, whether it's in the culture or medical or any other field, actually to be nominated for the very first time, it would take cinema in Lebanon and Lebanon itself to the greatest exposure and dimension worldwide, because it's the very first time that in the most televised show, the Oscar telecast, that spreading around, like 225 countries, with more than, the whole reporter published like 2 years ago, more than 65 million worldwide, we would be hearing for the first time for the best foreign film category from Lebanon.
Right.
The Insult by Ziad.
Right.
So it's really a great pride for us.
It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feat. On so many levels. This as a teacher of cinema, this proves my point to my students all the time, that you can make it once you do things genuinely, once you do things honestly, when you write good storylines, good characters. This is just, it's insane. So since, this episode is called We Would Like to Thank the Academy. Hopefully we'll really thank them in March. But we thank them for the nomination already. So we're going to be talking about the Oscar nominations. We're going to be talking, giving some feedbacks, our opinions, whether there were Oscar snubs, whether we agree with some of the nominations or not. You and I both know that the Oscars, as glamorous and popular the event as it is, it's also very campaign, politically driven event. So we will be talking about these as well as most likely bringing up some of the noise that happened in our country a couple of weeks ago, because you and I haven't really had a chance to talk about that either. And I'm sure my script to screen audience would really like to hear our viewpoints over what's happening. So let's just dive right in. I have the nomination list here in front of me, and I'll just go in the order that the Oscar has them on the website. The Oscars have them on the website, which will start with an actor in a leading role. We've got Timothée Chalamet, Daniel Day-Lewis, Daniel Kaluuya, Gary Oldman, and Denzel Washington. The only one I was not really expecting was Denzel. I think he really came out of nowhere, and it's I don't know if it's a racial thing because we already had Daniel Kaluuya in there. It's just like the silent spy in there. I don't know. I have seen Timothée's performance. I think the nomination is already a big step for a kid his age. I'm fairly certain he won't take the Oscar, but if he does, I wouldn't object to that. But I am fairly certain he won't take it. What are your thoughts on the actor in a leading role?
I agree with you on the people of color matter, because you know that they've been doing a great work trying to change everything with the increasing number of new members and new
diversity in the Oscars and in cinema, sure,
between people of color, and the increasing number of women members. So they've added like 770 something last July, and they keep on increasing. And they had like since 2012 till today, like more than 25% of increase in newcomers, and specifically the people, I mean, that belong to people of color and women, so they could address that change more drastically, more closely. So I believe that it already started, because many of these topics like hashtag Oscars So White, hashtag the Me Too initiative, and Time's Up initiative, actually, Me Too movement. So because these topics are so much permeating over the industry and Hollywood, that the Oscars, specifically starting through the nominations, they're starting to
cater to these, to ensure that harmony change stays within the industry. Because
how many times they got like backlashed, so harshly. So to see more than that diversity in nominations was some sort of expected, although sadly many other actors, regardless of their gender or their color or whatever, so ethnicity, I feel that they got sadly snubbed out.
I agree. I still think that this is a dream, because I really wouldn't want to specifically for things that are not like actor driven, so like the director or whatever, I really wouldn't want the nomination to be given to let's say a woman director, a female director, when this is with this campaign, and because it just makes it seem like we're giving it to you so that way we can calm you down, and not necessarily whether or not they earned it. And I would much rather be awarding and nominating people for what they've done and whether or not they earned it, versus whether or not they are a person of color or a woman or LGBT, or those labels should not be, in my opinion, they shouldn't be permeating the Oscars in this manner. It should be really about celebrating cinema and celebrating the efforts that were done that year, the achievements that were made that year. That's how I believe it should be run. But unfortunately, it's very clear that that's not how it's moving anymore.
Sure. Specifically, if you allow me to add something quickly about this category specifically, the thing that happened with James Franco, the way that he got, I was like supposedly a lock for a nomination over here, but that glow from the Golden Globes supposedly it didn't last long.
No, it didn't.
Automatically after he won, they started tweeting about the sexual misconduct and harassment things, so that he got automatically snubbed out of that nominating week. So it was really sad to see someone who tried to really give one of his best performances in the Disaster Artist.
I agree.
Getting
his performance in the Disaster Artist was probably one of his best, aside from 127 Hours.
Yeah. So it's sad.
So as far as the actor in a leading role, who do you predict will take it home?
Well, I do feel something special is coming Gary Oldman's way.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Although I know that Daniel Day-Lewis is basically, this is his bow out film, but Gary Oldman's performance in The Darkest Hour is phenomenal.
Indeed.
It's phenomenal. And joining us is a surprise guest, a very special surprise guest, the amazingly talented lady of the insult, Miss Rita Hayek. Hello.
Hello, Alan. Hello, Elias.
Hi, Rita. Congrats.
How are you? Thank you.
I didn't have the chance yet to really congrats you all, guys. You've done an amazing job, and you already know what I think of what you've done. So I'm superbly happy, and I don't know what to say. I just wish you one day that you get to be as well nominated for Best Actress, because you truly deserve it.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about the biggest Oscar snub this year, it's Miss Rita Hayek's non-Best Actress nomination.
Come on, just say Rita Hayek. Not the Miss Rita. I feel like I'm like 50 years old.
Not at all. Were you watching live when the nomination was?
Oh my God. Let me tell you about, the day that happened. It was like I was at Roadster.
Okay.
It was at 3:00 in the afternoon. I was having lunch with my best friend, and I was putting my earphones on. I had my iPhone and watching it live on my iPhone. I had one earphone on one ear, and my friend had the other earphone. And then, the second movie was The Insult. So they said maybe Fantastic Woman first, and then they said The Insult from Lebanon, and we started screaming. Kunna bi Roadster. I swear, everybody started looking around, and there was a lot of people in Roadster, And my friend, her her voice was, she was screaming. She saw it.
That's amazing.
Of course, I was crying and screaming, and then the congratulations song at Roadster, وجابوا لنا cake and stuff.
That's amazing.
I know.
Somebody should ask them for the security footage, because that must be an amazing video to watch.
No, wait, my friend did film this, so I have a video because
that's
this
brilliant.
Is historical. I know, I will send it to you. Maybe I'll post it sometime online.
Of course.
That's amazing. See, my dad and I were doing basically the same thing. He was sitting with me in my room. We were watching it on YouTube live, and we, I wish I was filming that, because his face was.
You should have.
I swear, the 67-year-old man was 5 years old for 30 seconds.
First I couldn't breathe. Seriously, I was so excited. I couldn't eat for the past 2 days, and I still cannot sit alone. This morning I woke up at 6 a.m. because I had filming. I had to go to the set, and I woke up very, very early. I sat alone. It's been a while, I didn't sit alone. In the morning, it was calm. I really felt like I couldn't handle sitting alone and thinking about all of this, because it's really overwhelming. I needed a minute, and I closed my eyes. It is,
It's overwhelming, but as both Elias and I wholeheartedly agree, it is a very much well-deserved, well-earned nomination, because it is very clear how much every single one of you, from cast and crew and everything, how hard you guys worked, how much passion is so clear from every single scene in the film, how much honesty, how much love you guys have for this craft.
Every single person working on this movie. And I'm going to start with Ziad Douaire, because I think that Ziad Douaire is, personally, he's the Lebanese director that deserves the most to go to the Oscars as a first time for Lebanon. ما في حدا بيستاهل أكتر منه.
That is very true.
Really, because if you haven't seen Ziad on set, I don't know if Elias, you were there and you saw when we were filming at the garage in Ashrafiyya, but in Adliya, everywhere. Ziad was doing everything. He was the gaffer, he was the director and the actor, and he was doing practically everything. And he's got an energy that's contagious. Everybody gets so energetic when they're next to Ziad. So he's really passionate. He's very professional, and he really deserves this, and everybody does, of course. Every single person who works on this movie deserves this.
This is one of the.
Still, I cannot really. يعني ما عم صدق. I still can't believe it. Every time I speak about it,
you can now go forth into this world knowing that you are part of a film that is now an Oscar-nominated film.
You know, it's not only this; it's my first movie, and
that is very true.
Can you imagine that my first movie is the first Lebanese movie that was nominated for the Oscar?
Well, we are so blessed that your first performance was just as good. That only means that the next time you're on our silver screen, you're going to floor us even more than you did this time.
Yeah, on our silver screen. I like this.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the silver screen. Rita, thank you again for calling in. Thank you for. I know your days are very crazy, and I've wanted you in my studios since I started the show, but it just doesn't seem to be working. So the phone call in is the closest thing so far.
It is. I'm leaving Monday for the premiere in Paris. You know, the Insult premiere in Paris is on Tuesday, and then we have the avant-première is on Tuesday, and then the premiere is on Wednesday. I wanted to say mercredi.
Rita, speaking of this Paris premiere, are you guys going to be able to be attending the Oscars somewhere? Because you know there are so many limited places. So
I know. Who's asking? Elias?
Yes.
Elias, okay. So there's only 4 seats for us. For foreign movie.
Okay.
And we still don't know who is going to be there. But what I can tell you now is that I'm going to be in Los Angeles starting the end of February because I want to go there, of course. You know, there's going to be a lot of partying, a lot of maybe press conferences. Sure. I have a lot of friends there. And, you know, Stella Adler, the school, the acting school I went to is in Los Angeles.
Right.
And it's on Hollywood Boulevard, on Hollywood and Highland. So right next to the theater where the Oscars are taking place. So I will be there, but we still don't know who's going to be sitting in the ceremony.
Within the ceremony,
Either way, I think we already won by being there. Now there's no chance for us to get the Oscar, but yes, the mere fact that we are there for the first time in history is already enough for me, and I'm so happy. I'm ecstatic.
Well, we are very, very proud to say that The Insult is the film that brought us that much closer to the Oscar. Thank you again. We're very proud of you. You are our gem. That is very true.
Yeah, I like that.
They did an impeccable work.
She did.
Rita, from now till then, go scream everywhere you are and let it out. We did.
I can't stop screaming. Good.
We did it.
It's been 2 days. Today I'm like the calmest. I was screaming. Yeah.
Enjoy it, dear.
Well, again, we wish you the best of luck in your career.
We love you.
The biggest congratulations.
Listen, Alan and Elias, I'm really happy that we are talking about this now because, you know, we people like you and like Daniel and Anis, remember when I was on their show? And our generation and the people who are cinephile just like you guys and they know what they're talking about, I really enjoy having conversation with you. And I feel like هيك شي بفش الخلق. And thank you for always, you know, Alan, you're always posting, you and Elias, stuff about movies, and especially Lebanese movies and The Insult. And I'm really proud that you guys are proud and that you guys are there to cover this. So thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you, Rita. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too.
And we'll keep in touch.
Yes, Yalla, bye.
Bye. Well, folks, you heard it here. The wonderful gem, Lebanese gem, Rita Hayek, was just with us. She was the lead in The Insult, the leading lady of The Insult. That was a fantastic conversation. Since we were talking about an actor in a leading role with the very cinematic Elias Doummar, we've been talking about this. Actress in a leading role. Sally Hawkins is nominated, and she is the lead in The Shape of Water. She's running against, essentially, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie, I, Tonya, Charlize Ronan for Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep, The Post. That is a very intense competition. Because I was a huge fan of Margot Robbie in I, Tonya. I thought she was amazing. Frances McDormand in 3 Billboards was fantastic as well. Charlize in Lady Bird, I mean, it's a good performance, but comparatively to the other 3 ladies, They were much stronger. And I really don't want Meryl Streep to win again. I just really don't. I really don't want her to win again. With all due respect for, her talents and all that, I just don't want her to win. I really I'm torn between Margot Robbie and Sally Hawkins. Frances McDormand's performance was fantastic, but the characterizations that Margot Robbie and Sally Hawkins had to do for their roles, they're very different women. So the work that they had to do was, I feel like they're more memorable characters, in my opinion, versus Frances McDormand's character, who's, again, very strong performance. Just, I don't know if it has that spark that Margot Robbie had, or even more so Sally Hawkins had. What do you think?
I completely agree, because from what I've seen from McDormand's performance in Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, I've seen some bits and parts, because I haven't seen the whole movie. It wasn't yet released. I've seen only with you, I, Tonya, where Margot Robbie really did a great job, and the enchanting, brilliant, stunning, masterful, monsterful work of Guillermo del Toro this morning. I believe that Sally Hawkins, whether being in a mute role or when we don't see if she spoke or not in the movie, she sung or not in the movie, she did sing or not. So she totally took us to a different dimension.
You are with her every single moment. You are there. You are there. You don't, again, she is the very essence of this film, and she's the oxygen of this film, with,
very essence of love.
Yes, absolutely.
With a love story. So I totally wrote towards her having the Oscar, with all respect to what Margot or Frances done in other movies.
I think she very much deserves that Oscar. I really
most impeccable
believe
work you see as
that she deserves
leading
it.
Actress lady. So she deserves it. Although for some certain other political lobbying reasons, I mean, some certain current affairs or topics. So I might believe that they would give again Frances what they've done in the Golden Globes.
Now, for supporting role for actor and actress, we'll tackle those together just to kind of move things along. We've got William Dafoe, Woody Harrelson, Richard Jenkins, Christopher Plummer, and then Sam Rockwell. Those are our nominees for a supporting role.
What do you think?
In a actor in a supporting role. Honestly, I would give it to either Woody Harrelson or Sam Rockwell, because I thought their work was fantastic. To be very honest, and with all due respect, I think Christopher Plummer's name in that list is a bit of a joke. It's baffling to me that this even happens. Like, it's just it's funny. I did not see the Florida Project, so I don't know what William Dafoe's performance was like. And Richard Jenkins in The Shape of Water, I mean, it's a good performance, but again, it's not something that is that gut-wrenching, and whereas Sam Rockwell and Woody Harrelson really do deliver fantastic performances in Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. So either one of them winning, I'm game with that.
Yeah, I believe that, as you said, that this movie itself is dominating this category. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, so it's going to be one of them. Yeah. So we have to wait and see if Sam Rockwell will win again, or maybe Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. So supporting actress or actress in a supporting role, we've got Mary J. Blige, Allison Janney, Leslie Manville, Laurie Metcalf, Octavia Spencer. It's Allison Janney's period. I don't care. We're not going to discuss this. Her performance in I, Tonya is spectacular. And I've been a huge fan of Allison Janney's since The West Wing, and seeing her deliver that woman you just want to smack across the face. You love her so much you hate her, like you hate her so much you love her, whatever that thing is. She did. I mean, yeah, that for me, that's who needs to win this Oscar.
Whatever she has used of technique, whether she was, I don't know if she was so methodic or maybe more technical or maybe something organic from within her. I cannot even tell. She was that good that you could believe that she's the real mother of Tonya Harding. She did it brilliantly, as you said. So definitely, she has to win.
Yeah. Oscar for animated feature film, we've got The Boss Baby, which is really weird. I don't understand why that's on there. You've got The Breadwinner, Coco, Ferdinand, and Loving Vincent. You and I had this conversation with the Golden Globes. I was very dissatisfied with who won. Coco is a great film, but again, those award shows should not be anything but achievement based. And what Loving Vincent did is we're probably never going to see a film like this ever again. Sure. And it's just, I don't understand how it's not a giveaway that Loving Vincent should win. Just by technical achievement alone, it should garner some attention.
Indeed, after all these 7 years of hard work. Besides, it wasn't like only a technical achievement by itself. It was cinematically, not complete, but like a whole cinematic achievement by itself. That the acting that has been over there, and the story and the script and everything that makes it itself a best animated feature. And you know what? Hugh was our guest in Beirut International Film Festival. That he said it's a gift of love and humanity. Right, to the world and to the cinema lovers. So definitely, and if they really want to show that they're supporting diversity and all these themes,
exactly.
Should win.
Exactly. For cinematography, we've got Roger Deakins, Bruno Delbonnel, Hoyt Vent Hoytema, Rachel Morrison, and Dan Lawson. It's interesting to finally have a female cinematographer nominated. This is fantastic. With all that considered, I still think Roger A. Deakins needs to get that Oscar because Blade Runner 2049 is a visual masterpiece. Indeed. The cinematography in The Shape of Water is gorgeous, but nothing comparatively to what Roger A. Deakins did with Blade Runner 2049.
He said it himself that this is most probably his hardest work ever. Yeah. He really worked hard.
Every shot is a it's a painting.
Portrait itself. It takes you to that dimension of that futuristic Blade Runner world. So I do agree as well. For that, Mr. Deakins should garner this Oscar afterwards.
Yeah. Costume design, we've got Jacqueline Duran for Beauty and the Beast, Jacqueline Duran for Darkest Hour, Mark Bridges for Phantom Thread, Louis Sequiera for The Shape of Water, and Consolata Boyle for Victoria and Abdul. It's a bleak kind of. I don't feel like the intensity of the competition here. The work in Darkest Hour was really good. If they're going to go for something more fantastical, maybe Beauty and the Beast. But, I'm kind of neutral on this one. What do you think?
I think that they might go to Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
There was a lot of work in the costuming for that, so I do agree.
Way more than just being a period drama like that.
Right. Like I agree.
Harder to really convince you of the world of Beauty and the Beast and to that fantasy world. So,
right.
We'll see.
Oscar for directing, we've got Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan, Get Out, Jordan Peele, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. Talk about a serious snub here with Luca Guadagnino not being in there for Call Me By Your Name.
Sure.
I would even say
this category.
Yeah, I would even say Blade Runner. There was no nomination for Denis Villeneuve either. It's a very interesting bunch of directors in here.
And having Greta Gerwig and Jordan Peele, it was so rare, like 5 to 6 times only with the Oscar history to have either an African American or a woman nominated for an Oscar. So this as well takes. It takes the Oscar to the Academy to what they have been holding to these, old standards.
That like the labeling,
The labeling, you're right. So I believe that one of these two might take the Oscar just as well to be just like another statement besides the good work that they've done, but.
Yeah, and this is no disrespect to Jordan Peele or to Greta Gerwig, but
I believe that like Nolan did that great works too, and they keep getting.
Snubbed. Right. Guillermo del Toro's work in The Shape of Water is just magnificent. I watched Lady Bird. I saw it.
What do you think?
It's a good film, but I don't know if it earns that nomination. I just don't know. And it's not anything against Greta Gerwig or women or whatever. It's just the work. There's so much other work out there that was super, super good.
Yeah.
Are we sacrificing? Is this what's going to happen now? Are we like compromising some really great works for the Oscar nominations to ensure that everybody's happy?
So you keep recruiting just for the statement of saying that you're open and diverse and stuffing in, names?
So for film editing, we'll move along here. We've got Paul Mackless and Jonathan Amos for Baby Driver, Lee Smith, Dunkirk, Tatiana S. Regal for I, Tonya, Sidney Wolinski for Shape of Water, and John Gregory for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This is an intense group of people because I've seen all of these films and they're all really well edited. Like they're so well edited. I, Tanya's style was insane. Baby Driver's rhythmic editing is also
this one
kind of not. You think it's Baby Driver is going to take the gold?
This one, yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I can come along on that. Yeah. It's the one.
Besides the amazing work that you've said, but for all the other remaining nominees. But
it's the one that's the most techie. You feel like it's the one that's the most like very editing driven as a film.
Indeed, because everybody kept on saying that Edgar Wright did a great movie by his work of directing. It's more of an editing. This is the very thin line where editing and directing
kind of they go hand in hand here.
Yeah.
Foreign language film, we've got a Fantastic Woman in Chile, Russia with Loveless, Hungary on Body and Soul, Sweden, The Square, and last but not least, Lebanon with The Insult. I mean, we're going to be very biased here and just say that we hope that Lebanon takes the gold. I didn't get a chance to see the other films. I heard that A Fantastic Woman is really, really good. But I'm just going to be biased here, and I'm just going to say I hope The Insult takes the gold. So makeup and hairstyling, we've got Darkest Hour, Victoria and Abdul, and Wonder. 3 films for makeup and hairstyling. I'd give it.
Yeah, 2
to Darkest Hour by far.
Same here. If I have to think twice, it would be let's say Wonder. Just for Jacob Tremblay's work.
Jacob Tremblay's makeup.
So Gary Oldman wouldn't have agreed because they proposed him several times to
gain the weight.
Yeah, to play Churchill several times through his cinematic career. And now at his age, 60 something, he said that if I'm gonna be gaining 30 to 40 pounds, I'm not gonna be able to
he'll die
to ever lose them through my entire life. What's rest there? So he had to bring up this amazing Japanese makeup artist to make all these prosthetics, and he managed to do it.
Amazing. Just pure magic. You forget, you don't even recognize that you're watching Gary Oldman. And this is, it's brilliant. Music original score, we've got Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, Star Wars The Last Jedi, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. For me, it's a tie. I would either want The Shape of Water or Star Wars The Last Jedi to win. I did not like Hans Zimmer's score for Dunkirk. I did not think that counted as a score in my humble opinion. 3 Billboards score is it's very simplistic. It's very, but although, The Social Network won that one year. And that was a very simplistic score. But I'm one for grandiose orchestra and music. So Alexandre Desplat and both John Williams, they both do that so beautifully. So for me, that's what I would go for. What about you?
I would go to The Shape of Water.
For the Shape of Water. Okay.
So enchanting.
Music original song, we've got Mighty River from Mudbound, Mystery of Love, Call Me by Your Name, Remember Me from Coco, Stand Up for Something from Marshall, and This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, which should not be even on the list. I'm just going to put that out there. It should not be on the list.
So clearly.
It should not be on the list. But out of all of those, for me, it's Mystery of Love for Call Me By Your Name. It's a beautiful song. We'll hear it in just a second. It's for me, that's the one that takes it.
Okay. Or maybe Remember Me.
You think?
Yeah.
if I was playing the Oscar game, they'll probably give it to This Is Me. Because it's an anthem for all things equal and whatnot.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in. The writing for adapted screenplay nominations. We've got Call Me by Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound. See, for me, it's a tie here because I really, 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 again, I think the work done for Call Me by Your Name is insane as far as the screenplay goes, because I've read the book, so I kind of assume the amount of work that went into it. But having my mentor in the list, Aaron Sorkin, is insane as well. I really do hope Aaron Sorkin gets it. I have a weird feeling that it's either going to be I don't know why I have a weird feeling they're going to give it to Logan. I don't know why, but I have this weird feeling that that's who's going to take it. And it's going to be slightly disappointing. Yeah. What about you? Aaron Sorkin?
I'm going to be the Sorkinist.
You're going to be the Sorkinist today.
Of course.
I mean, I can't deny the brilliance of a script. I really can't. But I also loved the work that was done on Call Me by Your Name. Yeah. Okay, so writing original screenplay, we've got The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. What do you think?
One quick thing. It's good that they did include The Big Sick because some people still backfired on the Academy, saying that what you've done with the nominations on Big Sick is like getting again a hold on interracial relationships. So luckily that I do believe that it's gonna be like maybe targeted towards The Big Sick for
the win
that reason.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. Can you remind us quickly about the other nominees? So
The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and The Shape of Water, which that's the one that's going to get my vote.
The Shape of Water.
Yeah. Because it's a marvelous, marvelous story that is being told here.
Indeed.
Although you're right, they might either give it to The Big Sick or 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. That's who might end up taking it. We'll quickly run through sound editing and sound mixing because they're the same people. We've got Baby Driver, Blade Runner 2049, Dunkirk, Shape of Water, Star Wars The Last Jedi. I don't think Star Wars will take it. Although I would love for it to win. I don't know if it will. I have a feeling that either Dunkirk or Baby Driver will probably take the win.
For editing or mixing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
They just feel like that's who it's probably going to go to.
Right.
Visual effects, we've got Blade Runner, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars The Last Jedi, War of the Planet of the Apes. When in cinema history have we had a full category sci-fi movies? Wow. When has that ever happened? This is insane. Like, we've got a comic book film, we've got a King Kong movie, a Star Wars film, a Planet of the Apes movie, and Blade Runner. When has that ever happened?
You're right, and they all deserve this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pick. I feel like I'll be betraying one of them if I pick one. I mean, I really wouldn't care for Kong or Guardians of the Galaxy, but Blade Runner, Star Wars, and War of the Planet of the Apes, that's a tough one for me to pick through because they each had their so much work done.
The best 3 contenders, you're right.
Yeah. So finally, we'll get to, there was production design. We've got Beauty and the Beast, Blade Runner, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, and The Shape of Water.
I wish Blade Runner would take it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Either that or Shape of Water is fine for me as well. Sure. Because, again, that opening sequence underwater is just gorgeous. So Best Picture. We've got Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Definitely more than a cinematic achievement. Definitely just a statement. That's what I say.
Just a statement, you think?
So,
yeah.
Most probably, maybe it's going to be the
3 Billboards. Yeah. I mean, I'd love for The Shape of Water to win.
Same here. Yeah.
I'd love for The Shape of Water to win. I mean, I loved Call Me By Your Name. I loved Darkest Hour. But I think Shape of Water should take it. That's what I think. It's just a dream of a film to witness. And with that, we come to a close here on Script to Screen. I feel like I talked way more than you did today.
No, it's always an utmost cinematic pleasure to hear you and to be with you, really.
Yes, thank you so much for being with me again, my first returning guest of the show. I'm sure you'll be coming back more and more and more as we go forth into 2018.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you with me. I want to give another shout out to Rita Hayek for taking a breath from her day to join us.
And to remind everyone that The Insult is back.
Yes. The Insult is back in theaters in Lebanon. It's back in theaters. I don't know for how long. So if you didn't see it, do yourself a patriotic duty and go watch it. Because you should, because it's a great film. Sure. Aside from that, we'll be counting down until the Oscar ceremony in March. Hopefully, the buzz won't go away, the motivation, the enthusiasm won't go away. If people want to follow you on Instagram, your handle, The Cinematic Post.
Yep.
At The Cinematic Post.
Sure, this is it.
Okay, so if you want to follow the cinematic Mr. Doummar on Instagram for contests and all that stuff and all things film related, make sure you follow him at The Cinematic Post. You can always follow me at Alan Mehanna Official. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, and commenting on Anghami, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. We are on YouTube. Hello. We're on YouTube now. And we're getting a good popularity on YouTube, which is great. People are enjoying watching the interviews, so you can like, comment, and subscribe there for any updates. Join me again next week for a fantastic episode is planned next week as we delve deeper into season 2 of Script to Screen here on Radio Lebanon 96.2 FM. Any final word, Mr. Doummar? Any words of words of wisdom for all those who are listening, who are cinematically listening to us?
Actually, nothing special. As you already said in the beginning of the episode, so just stick to your dreams. Mm-hmm. So they would definitely come true one day, like Ziad did, and all the team that's done the impeccable job with him. So and to keep definitely listening to you and watching all your videos everywhere. So thanks again for having me.
Of course,
you're doing
of
a
course.
Great
job. For all my listeners out there, as I always like to close out the show with something that my fantastic teacher, mentor, colleague, friend Tom Garrett taught us in university. Be humble and be ready. So constantly be humble, constantly be ready. And if you're living in Lebanon, I'll add one more thing to that list. Keep fighting. So be humble, be ready, and keep fighting, because we need to keep fighting for our cinematic culture in this country and to ensure that more films like The Insult are getting made and getting exposed out there in the world, because this is the true... this is our cinema. This is part of Lebanese cinema. Yes, this is us. Without indirectly promoting an NBC television series currently on the air. Guys, thanks again for joining me today. Make sure you join me again next week at 4 p.m. here on Radio Lebanon 96.2 FM for another episode of Script to Screen. Thank you. Have a cinematic weekend. Make sure you go watch The Insult and The Shape of Water when it comes out, and all other movies, because cinema's awesome. So this is it for us here. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your week.